Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be discussing one of the more bizarre trade rumours I've ever seen, and that is that Clayton Oliver is rumoured to leave Melbourne. Now, Clayton Oliver is a 4-time Best and Fairest winner at the Melbourne Football Club, 3-time All-Australian, and 2-time winner of the Coaches Association Champion Player of the Year award, and he is contracted until the end of year 2030. This rumour has started circulating only in the last couple of days, and it's caused a lot of confusion and debate in the AFL community. I mean, he's contracted until 2030, that's another 7 seasons of his service that he's locked in for, and the contract extension that he signed was only signed last season, so it just seems bizarre that Melbourne would even speculate on the idea of trading Clayton Oliver. But today in this video we're going to be discussing potential reasons for why they might do this, as well as the legitimacy of this rumour and how likely it is to be true. So obviously this trade rumour has been talked about by a variety of different publications, but it's important to note where it started. Now, I believe that this rumour was first reported on AFL Trade Radio by Cal Toomey and Riley Beveridge. They simply talked about how rival clubs were weighing up whether to make a move on Clayton Oliver. Now, I'll quickly play a clip of what they had to say.
One to watch over the next couple of weeks. Clubs are weighing up now whether to make a move for Melbourne superstar Clayton Oliver in this year's trade period. Oliver obviously has a massive 7-year contract that he signed in the middle of last year that now takes him through to the end of 2030, but he obviously had a very challenging year. He obviously only played 15 games, missed 10 weeks through the middle of the campaign with a hamstring injury, but also that blister on his foot, which became infected.
Yeah, and rival clubs are considering the cost of a trade attempt for Oliver, a 4-time Best and Fairest winner with the Demons. It is unclear if he would be open to any move, and there's been absolutely no indication that Melbourne would be willing to part with him either. But this is from a point of view of the rival clubs getting their things in order to see if a play for him is something that they want to proceed with.
So that is where the rumour originated from. As you heard there from Cal Toomey, he said that rival clubs are considering whether to make a play for Clayton Oliver. However, Oliver has made no indication of wanting to leave, nor have Melbourne made any indication of wanting to move him on. So straight away, this sounds a little bit suspicious, because why would a club want to move on a player they had just re-extended their contract until 2030? Why would they want to move on a player who's made no public indication that they've wanted to leave? And from what's been said there, it doesn't sound like Melbourne have made any indication that he would be open for sale, that any other rival clubs would be able to poach him. So it just seems a little bit strange. It seems like this rumour has been, well, really made out of nothing. But that is not the only report on this trade rumour. There have been others with conflicting stories and opinions. So let's just go over a couple of those now. So as you can see here on screen, an article from Fox Footy has stated SEN reported the Demons were, quote, open to trading him being Clayton Oliver, but only for the right price. And later on in the article, it goes on to explain how there were reports that Oliver had grown frustrated with the team's medical and high performance team, while the Demons were disappointed in Oliver's lack of professionalism during his rehab. So as you can see there, a very contradicting report to the first one. This one says that both Melbourne and Oliver are potentially open to a trade. Well, it states that Melbourne definitely are open, while Oliver has just grown frustrated of some aspects of the footy club, which doesn't necessarily mean he's open to a trade. However, there is still a possibility, and there's also some evidence to back up that he was frustrated with the medical and high performance team. Earlier in the year, there was some footage going around which was picked up by the media about him going off at one of the high performance members. So as you can see on screen here, Clayton Oliver is having a verbal altercation with one of the Melbourne high performance or medical staff. This was during the period where Clayton Oliver was trying to recover from a hamstring injury, which eventually kept him out for 10 weeks. Now, the injury wasn't like a cut and dry injury. Like originally it was only supposed to be 2 or 3 weeks he was supposed to spend out. However, that just kept on ballooning out to, well, eventually 10 weeks. He also had a blister in the foot which got infected, which kept him out during this period of time. So here, now I'm no mind reader or lip reader, so I can't say with 100% certainty what is being said there between the two parties, but I believe, in my opinion, he was probably trying to convince the trainer that he was ready to go, but the trainer wasn't having any of it. He said he still had to undergo tests, and Oliver was probably frustrated by this. Now, again, I'm no lip reader or mind reader, so I could be wrong, but that is just my thoughts on what may have been happening there. Just quickly, here's another report from news.com.au stating that SEN's Tom Morris had also reported this. I believe this was the same report as before. So now they're just giving a name to the reporter from SEN that reported this. But I believe that there is some possibility that there is legitimacy to this trade rumour. But before we go on any further, let's just think about and discuss the practicality for Melbourne and other clubs of this trade happening. So what reasons would Melbourne have for trading away a 4-time best and fairest winner? Well, he's 26, so age certainly isn't a factor. He's widely viewed as one of the best players in the competition. In fact, some even view him as the best player in the competition. Despite this, however, while he was not available for selection, Melbourne didn't fare too badly without him. In fact, some even say that Melbourne got better while he was out of the side. Christian Petrarca, Jack Viney, among others, had arguably career best seasons and were able to fill the void that Clayton Oliver left. This raises the question whether Melbourne really do need Clayton Oliver to contend for another premiership. So what exactly would they get in return for trading Clayton Oliver? Well, let's just say hypothetically they made a trade with the West Coast Eagles. I would believe that they would have to get at least pick 1 in return, maybe among other picks. Now at this stage, no one club is officially linked to the potential trade. However, multiple news publications have made lists of clubs that they think would be suitors for Clayton Oliver and would be able to facilitate the trade. Among these clubs includes the Adelaide Crows, the West Coast Eagles, the Gold Coast Suns, Geelong and St Kilda. Now, of that list of clubs I just brought up, I think the most interesting to talk about and the most likely to get a deal done would be Adelaide and West Coast. West Coast I just talked about. Obviously they have pick 1, but they also have 2 picks in the second round, including a first of round second round pick, as well as a later second round pick. I believe that with these draft picks in hand, West Coast would be able to facilitate a trade. Whether all 3 of those picks would be involved, I don't know, but at least pick 1 would be involved, I would imagine, because I can't see Melbourne wanting anything less than that. Oliver would be able to seamlessly fit into that West Coast midfield, and he wouldn't be too old for the list profile they're making, so I believe it would be a good pickup for West Coast, even if it meant that perhaps one of their young guns in the midfield would get a little bit less game time. As for the other suitable club in Adelaide, they don't quite have as strong of a draft hand as West Coast, having only picks 9, 21 and 24 overall in this year's draft. However, Shane McAdam has already requested a trade to the Melbourne Footy Club. He is a very handy small forward, so he could definitely be used as part of a package that could land Clayton Oliver. This package would also definitely have to include pick 9, and probably also another player, someone like a Riley Thilthorpe. Now, Melbourne are obviously still looking for a star key forward. They haven't had one for quite some time now. Riley Thilthorpe has shown a lot of potential despite his young age. However, he has fallen a bit out of favour at times with the Adelaide Crows, which could mean he would be a suitable fit for the Melbourne Demons, as they do not really have a whole lot of key forward competition. So I could definitely see a possibility of a deal getting done, something along the lines of Clayton Oliver moving to Adelaide while Melbourne receives Shane McAdam, pick 9, and Riley Thilthorpe. All of this, however, is still speculation and just my opinion. We don't even know if Clayton Oliver really wants out of the club. There's just some rumours going around. You could look at that footage I showed before and say that, yeah, he does want out, but there's really no concrete hard evidence supporting that. And at the end of the day, we'll just have to wait and see to find out whether this rumour has any legs on it or not. Personally, I think it's probably more likely than not that he stays at Melbourne. I just think it's a bit strange for a club to give up on one of their all-time greats so quickly after re-extending their contracts. Just seems... I mean, there's potential for gain there if they manage to land a star key forward or something in the process, which is something they desperately need, but I just think it would make most sense for them to keep Oliver. But with all that being said, that will wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments on what you thought about the video. Also, be sure to give your thoughts on what a Clayton Oliver potential trade could look like, if you even think it is a remote possibility. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.